Hello Libra friends, I'm Annie Botticelli and welcome to my Libra February 2023 Astrology Horoscope Forecast. This is for you if Libra is your sun sign, your moon sign, your rising sign, or any other placement of Libra you're watching for. What I'm going to talk about here is part of your astrological picture. And if you're a very late degree Libra friend, so October 15th through the rest of the sign birthdays, or 23 degrees or so through the rest of the sign for any other Libra placement you have, then I suggest you additionally listen to my Scorpio report, as you very late degree friends will benefit from both readings. I'm calling the theme of this month and beyond for Libras Freedom Frenzy. So I will break it down for you where these freedom opportunities are coming and what they might be. What areas of life are going to be accentuated and why I'm using this theme. And we have some other things to talk about to help you understand the layers of energetics happening this month so that you can best prepare for it and use the energies to their best potentials. Okay, so let's first talk about a couple of basic general transit notes that will be very relevant for you, and then we'll dive deep into more layers of this energy of freedom frenzy. So the first thing to know is that we have another month of more sweet aspects compared to salty. Sweet aspects are when the planets are getting along, and salty aspects are when they're not. So this month we have less road bumps and more opportunities and sweet connections. So that's certainly a very exciting layer that could even bring more freedom from frustration and annoyance of those salty aspects. This month, including January basically and February, we really have a nice break from the eclipse season. And the eclipse season has been really heavy with all of that Scorpio energy and a lot of karma being cleared. And that's part of the freedom frenzy that's starting to bubble up here. But there are many components to it, which we'll get to. But we are kind of in a break between those eclipse cycles. So once we get into March, eclipse season begins for those April and May eclipses, and the intensity will come back up and it will start to kick into overdrive because big changes are coming for Libra placements. Because along with this next eclipse cycle, the energies of which you will be feeling very soon, you might even be starting to see whispers of it, the Aries Libra eclipse cycle begins and lasts from around now through 2025. So activating massive amounts of change, and yes, even more chances to be liberated from karma and to claim freedom. So this trend that we're talking about for this month has multiple layers to it that preceded now and also will take place over the next couple of years. So it's really kind of a long-lasting energetic we're talking about. To kind of have an idea of how some of these changes that are coming soon that you might get the whispers of even this month, think about 1995 through 1997. Think about 2004 to 2006. Think about the end of 2013 through 2016. And now we're here, the beginning of 2023, and we'll have a couple of years of this energy. So very big chance that you're about to have a lot of radical changes. So I wonder if some news is starting to whisper its way through. But again, we are kind of in a break from the intensity of it. So the odds are that the big things will start to build as we get into March, April, but for now you have a little bit of a break, but you might start to see signs coming in. Another very big noteworthy thing about this month is it's the first and the longest open window of direct planets of 2023, and the only time in 2023 when even all the outer planets are moving forward. The difference between a forward-moving energy and a retrograde energy is that the retrograde energy, which we've just walked through, really started to brew in September when that Mars retro pre-shadow period started and went through January of 2023. It's very inward, backward, kind of slow in many cases, like you're walking through mud. Trying to have clarity has been difficult. Trying to have direction and take steps, that are unimpeded have been challenged. And it's more of an internal and retrospective sort of energy, just dealing with things that come up and not trying to, push a bunch of stuff out there into the world. But now, February, March, the beginning of April is completely different, very unique as far as the year goes because of these forward-moving outer planets as well, which is going to start shifting once we get into April too. So take advantage of it. This is the time to activate long-lasting change, to make big decisions. And this might be starting to couple with, this energetics of the eclipse cycle that's coming. you might see yourself really seeing some changes that need to be made and starting to activate those changes in a really big way. Big endings in relationships, big beginnings, anything having to do with big decisions, big purchases, big sales, investments, announcements, all of that energy is really, really brewing now. And it's a very big deal. So we're talking about this February, March, April timeframe. But if you want to understand the retrograde and direct cycles for the whole year to kind of get a leg up on making your plans, because it does seem to be a little bit easier and more clear when the planets are going direct, or at least when the personal planets are going direct, especially. And if you want to know that calendar for the whole year, go to AnnieBAstrology.com, Annie, the letter B, astrology.com, and sign up for my exclusive content portal where you can access my 2023 retrograde and direct calendar so that you understand for your planning purposes for the year. Okay, so let's start to talk about this freedom frenzy and what I am talking about here. So there are lots of layers of things being activated to give you opportunities for more freedom in different areas of your life. Some of the things we're going to talk about are going to be very obvious and you will be feeling it and noticing it. Some of the things we talk about might not seem like they're related to you having more freedom, but if you reframe it or understand better what's going on, then you can see how it's at play. So one thing that's been happening for a long time is that the energy of Uranus, the planet of surprises, the planet of sudden changes, and has also been involved with, the energy of sudden fortune that was our theme for a couple months ago. That energy is actually still continuing. And that has been giving you an opportunity to unlock fixed perceptions about people, things, yourself, money, the world, to have more freedom in those areas. Okay. It may have financially freed you from debt. It may have financially freed you through money coming in. It may have financially freed you, even though it's not manifesting yet, because you see something a different way, or you've started something that you know is going to result in those changes. But that sporadic, erratic, shocking energy of Uranus is really seeking to free you up in all of those things having to do with the things that I just listed. So, again, it's in kind of a little bit of a challenged angle. So in some ways, the things that are setting you free, they might not be readily evident unless you look out for it. But if you look for what I'm talking about, the odds are that, more likely that you will find it. Something else that is seeking to free you up is the energy of Jupiter. Okay, so we've been talking about how Jupiter in Aries has started accentuating this as of last year, and this will continue into May of 2023. Jupiter accentuating your house of relationships. So finding more freedom within your relationship. In some cases, it will be like you break up and you're free from a relationship. That kind of freedom. In some ways, it might be you changing the way that you do your relationships. You and your partner may have different understandings that give you more freedom, whatever that looks like in your personal situation. You may, be changing your relationship with yourself, which is helping you to set better boundaries in your relationship. Say you've got a long-term relationship and you've always been trying to worry about what the other person needs. Libras tend to do that. Jupiter's here to help free you to start to set better boundaries, be more discerning, and either you're diving deeper into relationship or you're diving deeper into your relationship with yourself, which means a little bit more room and, again, a little more freedom in your relationship space. A lot of times when Jupiter is moving through the 7th house, it brings a flurry of options and it brings a flurry of activity, or it's additive. So sometimes Jupiter can bring your true love in this configuration. Sometimes Jupiter in this configuration, if you've met that person, can bring you closer. If you're together, can cause an engagement. An engagement, if you're already engaged, could spark the wedding or could spark children, or, it's a very additive effect. So finding freedom within the safety of the relationship, finding freedom within the shared space of other people helping you to do things where it's not just you alone, is another way you may be experiencing freedom. So relationship space is really, really big for this month and through May. too. And for later degree placements, so those of you who are October born, and the later you are in October, the more this is true, this is going to linger for you all in this space even longer. And really, all of you are going to have an even longer experience of it too, because once Jupiter gets out of your 7th house, it's going to move into your 8th house. So there's all that continuous relationship focus and the quest for freedom. Also, back to the planet Uranus. Uranus tends to make us ask the questions, what do I need to be truly free? What do I need to eradicate shackles? And so you'll see that there is a lot of that questioning going on, and some, seemingly fated events might occur to help you find that freedom. It's also important to note that sometimes we can change our mind about something, and that can bring us a massive amount of freedom, even if the things that we're looking at in our lives haven't changed at all. Sometimes somebody who may seem less free to someone else may feel more free compared to someone else, and that can be a perceptual experience. So these kind of things I'm talking about can be at work there as well. Venus moving through the 6th house is trying to help you have freedom from financial issues like not having enough work, or freedom from chaos and clutter, really just an inefficiency. So there's this quest for freedom in those areas that's being brought about as well. The Sun and Saturn are both moving through fellow air sign, making beautiful angles with your Libra placement. Saturn has been doing this in a long-term way, seeking to free you from heaviness and within your relationships with your children, and also, again, true love and romance, and helping you to find more freedom within maybe your commitments, Again, like someone who could feel bound by their commitments to others can shift their perception and all of a sudden feel liberated, even though the circumstances haven't changed. So kind of see how you can apply that to situations with your kids, with your, beloveds, your romantic partner, anything like that. And the Sun is helping with a spotlight here. So it's also making you ask the questions, what kind of things do you want to express out into the world? What kind of ways do you want to share your gifts? What kind of things do you want to do and go out and experience? And, even just asking that question can make you feel a little bit more free in that moment when you imagine and doing the things you really want to do. But the Sun is wanting you to ask these questions, and it's supporting you in even having these manifestations. So if there's something you always wanted to do, you may find that both the Sun this month and Saturn for the long term is helping you to express yourself, express your passions, and to really live your passions, and possibly even have financial links to that. So Mars, having been retrograde in Gemini, has caused a lot of vacillation and confusion and back and forth about topics or experiences. So you might notice that you've been a little, in recent months, back and forth about a certain education, for yourself or for someone who you care for. Teaching, your role as a teacher, different languages, different cultures, an immigration thing going back and forth, an international move or business connection, kind of going back and forth. But this month, you might actually find freedom from that indecision. And if it doesn't happen at the beginning of the month, the odds are that as the month goes on, the freedom will come. And if not in February, then in March, there's an even better chance as Mars continues to shuffle stronger into its direct motion and get out of Gemini. All right, so there's a very good chance you'll have freedom from indecision that has been pestering you for a long time, where you'll actually get clarity about what to do or start to have peace about not yet knowing. Okay, 2 important dates of note. One is February 5th. There's a full moon in Leo at 16 degrees. So the days around the beginning of the month, fullness, completion, fruition, yes, even drama, for better or worse, can come with that Leo placement. And for Libras, this takes place in your work. I'm sorry, not actually your work. It's your friendships and your teamwork and your groups and your humanitarian efforts and your online-based projects and your community projects and your friendships. So some fullness, completion, drama, fruition, elucidation, seeing things in a different way. Again, you may have freedom from a wrong perception, you being part of a group, a friendship, you might get information about something you've been seeing differently that frees you. But in general, this is a nice angle for Libra placements. So hopefully this could just be something fun that you have in your community, or an online fun thing, a way to express yourself and create and connect with others in ways that feel meaningful. So all Libras can have yummies from this, but anyone close to 16 degrees, so we'll say between 11 and 21 degrees, the closer to 16 degrees, the more of a kiss you get from this full moon in the days around February 5th. So that's like October 1st through October 11th, and the closer to around October 6th, the more you might tie in directly with that experience. In the days around February 19th to 20th, we have a new moon in Pisces. And this energy is really a dreamy, restful, imaginative, spiritual new beginning of some sort. It's a great time to take a retreat or to just do some private personal pursuits. And this energy for you is in your health, pets, daily experience. So you might be planting seeds in some of those areas, or you might just take your dog to a fun place to have some quiet and enjoyment just with them, any combination of those energies. Quiet emotional connection with a human, with an animal, with nature is really good, especially around those dates. If you want to know more dates that are noteworthy for the month and aspects and what you can expect from them, go to anniehelpsyou.com, sign up for my free email newsletter. You can find that link and all links I give you in the notes underneath the podcast or video. At anniehelpsyou.com, you can see all the free goodies I make for you each month and make the most of them. If you want to learn astrology, I have lots of resources to help you do that. AnnieBAstrology.com. Annie, the letter B, astrology.com is a great place to see a lot of different astrological offerings I have. And if you want to be a professional astrologer and earn money from your love of the stars, that is my area of expertise. If you want to learn astrology just to help you and your friends and your family, I can also teach you how to do that. So go to beastropro.com, beastropro.com, to see my Becoming a Professional Astrologer Mastery Course. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.